Hi, everyone, and welcome. We're so glad you're here today for the CDREs Tell All webinar. This is going to be a powerful and inspiring session. My name's Nikki Mason, the COO of the Ilumni Institute, and I'm thrilled to be your host as we sit down with some of the top certified divorce real estate experts from across the country. We have 5 different states here. You're going to hear some firsthand stories, and please feel free to answer any of your questions. We're live, so feel free to drop them in the Q&A box at any time throughout the session. A quick note, the CDRE designation, as many of you may know, it's a high-level program designed for experienced realtors who have been licensed for a minimum of 3 years and have closed at least 45 transactions in the last few years. These are game changers here. They're changing the industry, and they're amazing with their family law community. So let's dive in. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and please feel free to ask any questions today. Take it away, Teresa.
Hi, everybody. I'm Teresa Bastian. I'm in Austin, Texas, and I've been in real estate 26 years. I've been a certified divorce real estate expert for 5 years.
Hey, everybody. I am Jen Cosgrove O'Leary. I'm in Rhode Island, and I've been a real estate agent for 5 years and a CDRE for 2.
I'm Megan O. I'm in Frisco, Texas, north of Dallas. I've been a real estate agent for 8 years and a CDRE for 3 years.
I'm Cami Bigham. I'm in Eastern Washington, Spokane area. I've been with the CDRE community since fall 2021, and I've been a realtor for 6 years.
And I'm Melinda Elmer, and I'm in Long Beach, California. I've been a realtor for 23 years, and I've been a CDRE for a year and a half.
And I'm Katina Farrell. I'm a certified divorce real estate expert in the Denver metro area. Been a CDRE for 5 years now and a realtor for 25 years.
Thank you all. This is awesome having you all here. They truly are some of the best and have been changing the way we do divorce real estate and truly supporting their clients and family law community. So we've gotten a lot of questions about the program, and we're just going to jump right in. But like I said, please put your questions in the chat as they come. We'll be sure they get answered. So first question, this is for Teresa. What is the impact of your divorce real estate business in a high inventory market?
Well, I'm really glad to have this source of business. For those of you who may not be aware, Austin was the darling of the height of the pandemic frenzy in real estate, and we have been, as they say, adjusted. And we have now one of the most inventory heavy areas in the country. So in a market where many people are unrealistic about their listing price, or sellers are not interested in listing unless they have to, that can make it hard to keep your listing business consistent. My divorce referrals, for good or bad, these people have to sell their homes. So for my business, it's very important to have this consistent source of listings.
Thank you, Teresa. That you're amazing. Teresa is very involved behind the scenes. Actually, all of the CDREs you see here are, and I really appreciate your input there, Teresa. I'm going to jump to Katina. Katina, she is the director of our leadership council here in the CDRE program, and I would love to ask you this one, Katina. Beyond the growth of your divorce real estate business, in what ways has the CDRE program impacted your traditional real estate business as well?
Gosh, for me, I mean, I had been in real estate for about 20 years before I started in the program. Actually, Teresa and I were the first COVID class online. And I thought I was running a real estate business, but I don't feel as though I really was until I got in the CDRE program. I just became a lot more intentional, very much more intentional about my systems and my processes and how I spend my time, and really making things that repeat, right? A lot of what we do around here, we're constantly kind of rinsing and repeating to build this business. and really implement that with my traditional business as well. It has a lot more structure behind it. And also boundaries, right? I don't think in the real estate industry in general, we have a lot of boundaries, right? And we're pushed and pulled in all different directions. And this has really taught me more of truly my wealth and my value as a real estate professional, and being able to set those boundaries and make sure that I'm truly, truly running a business. So, yeah.
That is a great point. And we are always learning and growing, but Katina, you're doing amazing things. Thank you. Okay, this question I would love to pass to Melinda. Melinda, you've been a CDRE for a year and a half, you said?
Yeah.
This is a great question for you because I think you're one of the newest in this group here of advisors, as a CDRE at least. So how long would you say it takes before you start seeing results as a CDRE?
It's a great question, and I think that it really depends on how active you are at working the system. So one of the things that I love about the CDRE program is that it helps put together a system for you. And I'm a systems person. I love systems. So it allowed me to take that system and start to implement it right away. And I had already been working, me personally, had already been working with a lot of estate planning and trust attorneys previous to this. So I expanded into the divorce attorneys and started applying some of the things that I was using with the estate planning attorneys as well. I actually started getting my first deals from the estate planning attorneys before the divorce attorneys because I started using some of the things that we were learning from here. And it expanded my language and vocabulary that I could use with those attorneys, which made me stand out above the rest. So I think it will depend very much on how much you work it, how much you follow the system, and how aggressive you are at getting out. If you just kind of passively do it from time to time, it's not going to work. You have to get out there and be willing to really follow the process. And if you do, you can see results fairly quickly. And it may take a little bit of time as well. So you have to be patient, and it's not that you're selling directly to these attorneys. It's building a relationship with them so that when they have need for you, that they come calling for you.
Couldn't have said it better. And it's education too. I mean, these women here are fully immersed and fully educated in both sides of the businesses of the attorney world and the real estate world. So it's truly is an intersection. And I see it firsthand. You all lead with purpose and value and education, and it's really inspiring what you all do. So thank you. Thank you, Melinda. Okay, this question, I love this question that came in. So in what ways has the CDRE designation influenced your perspective on the value and role of education in your professional development? Cami, I'm going to have you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you were just kind of touching on education there. And I have to be honest, when I first came into the program, I just kind of more or less anticipated that I was stepping into a specialized real estate designation. I was going to get my credential and introduce myself to attorneys, and off I go. I had no idea how this training and this whole community would fully transform not only my business, but me personally. I've come into way more confidence and growth, my public speaking. And somewhere along the way, I really dug into the actual mission that Ilumni has. It's not just training you and giving you a credential. Their mission is to ensure that every family law case throughout the country has a certified divorce real estate expert appointed, is a resource, and is available to the families and to the court and to the attorneys, and kind of buying into that. And I think I probably at one of the conferences was talking with Jen, and I'm so passionate about that mission, and it fuels you. You want to keep learning and engaging, and the information and education that the Ilumni provides the community is so rich and strategic and deeply aligned with that mission. So like Melinda talked about, there's processes and there's a step. It's all part of a bigger plan, and it's really special to be a part of. The other component with that education, I think we all could agree, we have taken on the hat of being forever students, being part of this community. But you have to get real comfortable with public speaking. And if you had asked me coming into this program, how do you feel about public speaking? How are you going to feel presenting yourself? I might have shied away and said no, and it was through the growth and support of this community that I was able to foster that for myself and actually found something in myself. I didn't know I loved teaching, and I do. It just has struck a chord. But this work we're doing is so much bigger than a transaction, right? It's really a movement. We're building relationships. We are providing support to the legal community they don't even know they need through that education. So it's pretty special.
Cami, yeah, that was amazing. Thank you. I mean, you guys are just so inspiring and you're making so much change, and it really does come from purpose, and you said it beautifully. Thank you. Okay, well, while we're on the subject, we've gotten this question a couple times. I think this would be a great one for Megan O to answer. Megan, how did becoming a CDRE change your life and your business?
Well, yep, great question. I want to start really with my life. I personally, as I learned more about how to serve the community and serve the people who are divorcing, learned about myself. I learned about personal growth and personal development, and then just also identifying what things might trigger me or might impact me and make me kind of steer off the path for a minute and not be the best version of who I am in order to serve them. So by being in this community, I became a better version of me so that I can serve both the family law community and the parties who are divorcing. And then for my business, it just was a growth exponential. It grew my personal business in my traditional business, as well as this additional funnel of business coming in. And I was able to hire, I was able to expand my team, and then just grow my wealth as well, because I built systems that Ilumni provided, that trained, that also transferred to my traditional business, as many of the other CDREs have explained. And it just year over year, I have had massive growth since I began this journey as a CDRE. So personal, professional growth all around is what this program has done for me.
Oh, thanks, Megan. That's awesome. The key word I think is systems and consistency, right? In the community. So, I mean, you guys are all part of this community. It really is special, the support that you all give one another, and it's really great to see. So thank you, Megan. Okay, this is another very popular question we see all of the time. Jen, I'm going to ask you this. What would you tell an agent looking to specialize in divorce real estate? Like, what should they know before jumping in?
Thanks, Nikki. Well, I wish I had the whole half hour to talk about this, because I have so many things that I could share that's very exciting, and excuse me, a lot of things that make this, again, like everyone has said, a very special group and a very special niche, if you want to call it that, to be part of. But to kind of piggyback off a little bit, maybe of what Cami was saying, which again, I have to thank Cami. I met her, as she mentioned, at our first conference, well, first conference I went to as a CDRE, and she was so inspiring and so passionate. I was like, I have to get involved even more. Even though I was a CDRE, it kind of encouraged me to even do more within the CDRE community, come home and really work hard at building this business. So that's one of the things. This business isn't that easy to build. It is like building another business within your business. It takes time, it takes effort. But to get there, you do go through a training that I think it's important to understand that this training is very different than any other real estate class I have actually taken. You are learning a new language, you are learning new skills, you are learning about clients and how you interact with them in ways that you've never thought of before. So you're coming out with a specialty in divorce real estate, and that takes a pretty intense training. So, knowing when to come in, when is the right time, when can you devote that time to really diving into the education and doing all the things that come with the curriculum of the program. Another thing I think it's interesting is that our roles become a little bit different. We're less about selling as we are usually as real estate agents, and we're really more about managing legal and emotional chaos that kind of comes on in these cases that we work with. So it's a little bit of a shift there where you're like, okay, what am I doing? So, knowing in yourself that you'd be really good at doing that, or that you're willing to do that. And another big one, because again, I could go on and on, but another big one is that getting business is going to be really different than we traditionally do it. Now, we traditionally, as agents, we are going to consumers, and they are the people we are, marketing to. As a CDRE, we are marketing to attorneys. And so it's more of a B2B model. So having the ability in yourself to be confident and be able to go out there, and you get taught how to do this, you get all the tools and how to do this, and you've got a whole community, so that when you maybe get hung up and you're maybe not sure how to approach an attorney that you don't know very well or don't know at all, because most of us come into this and we don't know any attorneys, you have the confidence to go and tell them about yourselves and tell them how you're different. We're not just here to ask for business from attorneys. We're here to be part of their team. We're here to be a resource. We're here to provide education. And yes, we are here to help them with their complex cases that have real property sell. So, it's a very, very different way of doing it. Most all of us do it alongside our traditional business, but the way we practice and the way we do those two businesses are very different. And I'm very grateful and fortunate that Ilumni has given me these skills, and I'm slowly starting to, or maybe not so slow, but finally getting to spread the word around Rhode Island. I am the only one in Rhode Island. So it's been a very fun and rewarding experience. Not to say not challenging, but rewarding. And, and I'm excited to continue it here and hopefully grow it in Northeast, because there aren't as many CDREs here that we would like to have. So I'm going to stop talking now because I could just keep going. So sorry about that.
It's okay. We can do a part 2 because we are getting questions. So thank you all for for all your transparency, and it's amazing. Speaking of questions about you were speaking about your market, Jen. So Melinda, you got a shout out. Congrats on your award. This is from Mark Wise. Notice top producers work very hard. Your answer was great. Are there any CDREs in Santa Cruz, California? So we have a map and we have a directory, Mark, and we're happy to send that to follow. I don't believe we have any directly in Santa Cruz, but I know we have some in the San Jose area. So I hope that answers your question, but we're happy to dive in deeper for you after our call today. And then, oh, sorry, go ahead, Teresa. Did you have something?
Question reminds me of a topic that might be of interest. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ilumni really encourages collaboration when there are CDREs in the same market. And I know I was the first one in Austin, and it was kind of lonely at first. And I can just speak to as the market's grown and we have more CDREs in the market, the opportunities to network together, brainstorm together. It really is inclusive, and it pluses the experience. And I think it makes it nice for the family lawyers because they know there's more than one person. We've had some great Texas CDRE collaboration. I know different areas of the country do as well, but I wouldn't say if you're listening to this and you're like, you look at that directory and go, oh, there's already someone in my market. I wouldn't take that as a downside. Many markets need more than one CDRE to properly serve the family law community.
Yes, I love that you touched on that. Thank you, Teresa. Mark asked if men do this too. Of course, we have several CDREs that are amazing, successful men in the program too. Shelly Dow, I see, is raising her hand. So, Shelly, if you want to pop on, you're welcome to ask the question to anyone you see here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to raise my hand.
Oh, well, it's okay. Sorry to call on you then. Well, thank you
Nope.
for joining us.
No problem. I know Melinda, so I was excited to see her on here. I think Marty was going to jump on too, Melinda, to watch. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for being
Yeah.
here, Shelly.
That's awesome.
All right. Okay, let me jump over to another question. Okay, so one of the questions that we get very regularly is how do I work with attorneys?
Hmm.
Oh, sorry,
I'll
Cami.
start.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well-
so kind of what Jennifer talked a little bit about earlier, we are big on education. So we really have, as a CDRE, there's really three main pillars that you're bringing to family law. First and foremost is education. We're, bringing to light what they need to know about real estate practices that affect their orders. All the changes with NAR, that's going to affect how they write and draft things, and potentially how their clients are able to sell and list the house. All these things, they're not in our world, so we need to bring those things to light. The other thing that we do is we are that collaborative support. So we're helping them with title issues and evaluating the home and all the things that they might need to fully understand what this asset is that's even on the table. Oftentimes it's not the first thing they're dealing with. It's not the most important. And yet it might be the one thing that's this largest asset that they're dealing with that kind of gets pushed to the side because it's kind of inconvenient. And so we kind of need to bring to light why it's important early on, and you get all the skills and tools about how to do that. And then obviously, finally, like Jen said too, our bread and butter does come from listing and selling, and we have a very specialized process for that we follow and adhere to, that protects everybody and keeps everybody informed. So the Ilumni is great at creating all of those resources that we need to do that, but those are the three primary pillars: is education, collaborative resource, and then a specialized process.
Yes, nailed it. That is perfectly said. Thank you, Cami. Okay, this question is probably the most popular question we see on the daily internally. Melinda, I'm going to pass this one to you. I am a busy realtor. How would I ever have time to take this course and become a CDRE? Get that every day.
That's a great question. When you first sign up to the course, they tell you how much to time block every week in your schedule. And as busy realtors, we know that time blocking is super important. And when something's a priority, I mean, we've all heard the expression, when you want something done, ask a busy person, right? So when this is important to you, and when it is something that you want to help develop in your business and grow on an additional arm of your business, then you'll find a way to make it happen. I know for me, I used to get up a little bit earlier in the morning and I would listen to my classes while I would take a walk in the morning. So it was kind of a multitasking, and I would listen to my classes and do my homework or very, very early. I have a 5-year-old son as well. So not only am I juggling work and his schedule, and I'm a 50+ deal a year producer as well. So I've still managed to fit it all in. So I know that you all can too. It's just a matter of prioritizing. And if you have ways to leverage things, maybe there's something that you're doing that is not bringing the results that you would like it to bring, that you can set aside and, or delegate it to somebody else, or find somebody else to come in and help with that. But if you want it, if you want it bad enough, you want it, and you want to be able to support this, you will find a way to make it happen.
Absolutely. And these women here are all very busy realtors, mothers, all of the above, and you all are doing amazing things. So thank you. Okay, another question we get lots of, and I'm going to send to Katina, because Katina also does some of the behind the scenes portion of our application and interview process. We get this a lot during the application process. Katina, why is there qualifications and requirements on the program? Why 3 years minimum? And why do we require at least 45 transactions to qualify for the program?
Gosh, I think more than anything, because we want you to keep selling real estate, right? It's hard. We're getting, we're that order in this chaos and that emotional buffer for these clients, and then also we're representing ourselves to the legal communities. Without that first 3 years and getting those calluses and learning and falling on your face with traditional real estate, it's the only way to really give you any sort of even beginner experience to help really call yourself an expert, right? What qualifies as an expert? It's time over task over time over task. So anything less than 45 transactions, anything less than 3-ish years, you're gonna have a tough time getting out there. Not to mention it takes this is an investment. It's a time investment. It's a financial investment. It can be an emotional investment as well. So having that experience ahead of time and those resources to be able to build this piece of your business is really, really important as well. So I know me, even getting in front of the attorneys that I've been in front of, without a lot of solid, good real estate experience, there's a lot of times they could have taken me down with some of the questions I got. So it prepares me to go out and really succeed and not just fall on my face. So
That is exactly why, because we want our CDREs to be successful. And also, you guys are written into court orders, right? Like our CDREs are court appointed and have literally had to take the stand. And you have to be an expert. You can't just be on the stand and not have had solid experience, solid education to be considered an expert in any field. And you are thrown a million questions, fast and hard questions when you're on the stand. So they definitely, we do require some experience to ensure you're successful in the program. Megan O, do I need to learn the laws in my state?
The short answer of that is no, but let me explain a little bit more. Our program, the Ilumni program, actually has lawyers and even a judge that teach you the language and the lingo that you need to understand in order to be able to talk with the attorneys when you first start meeting them and explaining who you are and how you can serve their clients and them. So you don't necessarily need to learn them before you join. You will learn them as you go through our program. And then as you become a CDRE and you're out there in the community, your family law community, as well as our CDRE community, you're going to constantly be learning on the job, so to speak, as you come up against certain cases and questions that you get asked while you're on the stand and things like that, that help you learn how to really serve your clients and the attorneys in this space.
Oh, thank you. Megan has a legal background too, so she always brings some great fresh perspective. So thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
All right, last but not least, Teresa, I'm gonna shoot this one your way. How do I get in the divorce niche? Where do I begin?
Well, I think that obviously exploring the alumni program and becoming a CDRE is the very best way. To be honest, I've worked with divorcing clients multiple times before earning the designation. I thought I had it down. I've been divorced myself. I figured I knew all there was to know. And in fact, I knew enough to close a transaction for people who were divorcing, but I did not have at all the support and the systems in place to build this as a foundation of my business. So if you truly want to serve divorcing clients at a very high level and you want to really integrate this as part of your business, not just a deal here or there, the Ilumni Institute's program is really the only way to do that, in my opinion, that I have found. And as I think Jen mentioned, I'm a former educator and I've been in real estate over a quarter century. How is that possible? It is the most robust training I have ever experienced, basically inside or outside of the real estate industry. So this is not the same as you take a 2-day class, it could be on Zoom, you get some letters behind your name. It is a complete package, complete suite of tools and support and materials that you can use to introduce yourself to the legal community and offer true value and make it like a real pillar of your business.
Thank you so much. Well, I can't believe that we already have been here for 30 minutes. So we have a lot more questions, but we can go ahead and wrap this first session up. And then maybe if you guys would all be open to doing this again, we would love to hear from you all, and anybody else that, does have questions that come up after you learn more about the program, about the CDREs that are here today. Please send them our way. And thank you all for joining us. It's been amazing watching your journey. And just thank you for pouring into our community and your communities as well. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time.